guys, before we start today's video, I want to say that I miss the one-on-one that I used to have with you guys through Built Not Bought. If you guys don't know what Built Not Bought is, that is a Facebook group. That is the home for the DBFam, bro. I haven't promoted it for a really long time. That is my personal group. That is all of our group, man. A lot of you guys are already in there, but I feel like it hasn't been active for a really long time. I mean, at this point, there's 80,000 members on Built Not Bought, bro. Really? My Facebook group is outgrowing my YouTube channel? I'm gonna be putting this post up in Built Not Bought, but I am going to have the comments turned off until 9 o'clock tonight. It's a DBFam roll call, man. Now, I wanna see you guys in there posting up pictures of your builds. I'm gonna be turning the comments on at 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna leave the comments on for 10 minutes. Now, I haven't done this in a really long time. Back when we used to do this before, within 10 minutes, I'd have like 300 freaking pictures in there. So just to let you know, I'm gonna be sharing your guys' pictures in an upcoming video on YouTube. The link to Built Not Bought will be in the description down below. Make sure to go click on it and come join. What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. So we are going to be picking right back up on the EP3, of course. We can now hopefully get these bumpers sprayed. Our primer's all nice and dry. This sat out here overnight. So last night I ended up ordering that part for Pops. Like I mentioned, they didn't have it on Prime, so it's not gonna be here until I think like the 28th or the 29th is what it's estimating. So just to keep you guys up to date, whenever that thing comes in, I'm wanting to slap Pops together, and fingers crossed that is going to be the fix-all to the problems that we've had with that damn bike. But the fenders are dry, the hood is dry, and we can move this stuff out. Now, I still want this stuff to kind of sit and cure, so I need to find a safe place for it. I was thinking I was just going to set these things on top of the Blazer, but I've been having a lot of problems with birds, man. Birds land on all of my shit out there, like, especially whenever I just fed the dogs, in which I just fed the dogs. It annoys the shit out of me. Those dogs will just chill there while there's like 30 birds eating their damn food, and they don't even care. My pit bull that I had years ago, his name was Connor. He would have never put up with that shit, bro. Though then again, I always had to pick up pieces of birds all over the backyard. Yeah, it's a give and take. Hell yeah, that actually worked out pretty good, man. So now the hood and the fenders are hung up and they're in the back where they're safe. I'm going to go ahead and get these all prepped. We got to get them ready for paint, so I got to go over and sand them and everything. You guys already know. But whenever I go to spray, I will go ahead and scoot them a little bit further forward because, of course, I don't want to get overspray all over that stuff. So, but they most certainly are dry to the touch, so I'm not worried about like sanding dust or anything getting on it. Whenever I paint a bumper like this, now you guys know that these sections right here are supposed to be black. I always just paint over that with the color of the bumper, and then I'll come back after it's all cured and everything, and I'll mask the bumper off and then respray the stuff black. Like, believe me, I think 90% of the time the OEM rubber is what actually looks the best, but sometimes it's in really bad condition. Like, sometimes it's unavoidable and you need to paint it black. But in a situation like this, rather than mask this off, paint the white, and then mask this off and paint black, I would rather not have those paint edges, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I go over and paint the whole entire bumper and then I come back and I clear coat the whole entire bumper, there's not going to be a paint edge right here that moisture and stuff can potentially get underneath. So afterwards I'll come back and I'll mask it and we'll scuff this area and then we'll spray those sections black. And right now is probably a good time to mention, like, a lot of this stuff, like, this is how I do things. I'm not saying that the way that I do things is always correct. To be honest with you, I am continuously learning as I do my work, you know what I'm saying? I learn new things. In the video where we were wet sanding those parts over there, I started off using 1000 grit. Then I explained how I didn't really like the 1000 grit, how it looked like it was more polishing the primer than what it was actually sanding it. Well, I seen one of you guys threw some advice in the comments and you had mentioned that sanding with 1000 grit or anything over, I guess, 600, you're asking for failure, because that's not enough of a grit for paint to really grab into. Like, it makes sense to me. Like, I didn't go and do any research to like verify that, but it most certainly makes sense. So anytime that you're going to sand something and you're prepping it to put some paint over it, most certainly don't use something like 1000 grit. I would use at least 400 grit, but nothing finer than that. But by all means, whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, do your own research. Like, you know, put it in Google and find some stuff online that tells you, that gives you suggestions, you know what I'm saying? As for me, like, I am basically trial and error. Like, if I don't know something, most of the time I'll look it up also, or sometimes I have to learn things the hard way, you know what I'm saying? The booth off really quick so I can talk without it being so damn loud in here. I also wanted to mention that I do appreciate you guys whenever you leave feedback like that. I've noticed that it's kind of like a normal thing that whenever somebody tries to explain how they think I'm doing something wrong or how I could do something better, they always start off with, "I'm not hating, bro," or they end off with, "No hate, it's all love." Look, you don't have to explain that to me, man. I most certainly appreciate it. I don't see that as being hateful, you know what I mean? I don't see it as a negative comment. If you guys see something that you think that I'm doing incorrectly, by all means, throw it in the comments down below. Or if you see something that you think there is a different method in doing it better, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy that feedback. Like I said, man, I am learning. I learn every time I do this shit. I learn something new. Like, I have most certainly learned that I wish that I could just get a new front bumper for this EP3, because this bumper is pretty damn rough. I don't personally like how this entire grill is completely cut out. I think that this bumper either came off a car that was turboed before, or maybe Dan, the guy that I got the car from, maybe he cut it because he was going to be putting an intercooler, because originally the guy had this car before me, he was in the process of trying to turbo it. As a matter of fact, the oil pan that is on it is already tapped for the return. But anyhow, I already blew all the dust off the floor as good as I could. Blew all the dust off of these. I wiped them down with some alcohol, and I'm going to tack rag them right before I spray them. Reason being, on these plastic bumpers, whenever you tack rag it creates like a static and it draws dust. So I want to tack rag it and then spray it, you know what I'm saying? So that it's not sitting there all static electrified for too terribly long, just attracting any dust that's potentially in the air. I've already got the paint mixed up. It's in my gun. Kick this thing back on and get these things wet, boy. All right, bumpers are finally sprayed, bro, and look at that. No damn bumper lights. Actually came out really nice. I mean, I honestly forgot that we even did that, because to me, this looks normal, you know, without having those ginormous ass holes in the side. But anyhow, obviously these things need to set up and dry before we can mask off and spray that center section black. Of course, that'll be like a final touch before putting the bumper on the car. So I don't think we have much left, dude. Well, once all this stuff dries and cures and everything, and we can safely move it out without worrying about it getting damaged, I think there's just the fuel door and the mirrors. Pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna also bring the headlights and the tail lights in here and throw a clear coat on them, especially those headlights that we got off of eBay. You guys already know, if I don't get a clear coat on those soon, they're gonna turn yellow quicker than I don't know. I couldn't come up with something witty fast enough. Anyhow, I just ordered a bunch of sandpaper because I am like running out off of Amazon, and that's gonna be here Friday. But yet my parts for Pops, man, I gotta wait until after Christmas because they actually have the sandpaper on Prime. Anyhow, I think I'm gonna take a break from the EP3 probably for at least a day or so to let that stuff sit. I imagine the next video on the EP3 will be us finalizing it and probably assembling it and getting a final look at it. I need to I want to do something with the wheels. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do smash the like button. Peace, and I'll see you on the next one. Did I ever tell you guys another reason why I don't like these wheels on the Blazer is they're rubbing. Somewhere they're rubbing. Makes it really hard to push this thing. Anyhow, I think we're gonna be working on this in the next video. So I got some things we got to do to prepare this guy for an engine. Hey there, Braven.
Hello.
Where you been? Yeah, no one cares. Hey, and don't forget, at 9 o'clock, the comments are going to be turned on. Make sure to post a picture of your car. Peace.